This is Mark and Taylor. Today we're doing an intermediate level workout. We'll begin with 5 minutes of stretching and then we're going to conclude with 10 minutes of core at the end. Alright you guys, we're going to begin in 10 seconds, so get your mat and your roller ready. We're going to start out by doing a bit of rolling, as a released muscle tends to function better. In this warm-up, we're going to get the heart rate up, do some mobility, and as well as some activation to get you ready for a workout. The speed of rolling should be about 1 inch every second. If you go too fast, it can have to defeat the purpose of releasing the muscle tension. Go nice and easy. As you roll, pay attention to where you feel tightness, and then you may want to come back at the end of the workout and revisit those spots, spend some more time on them. What you want to do here is keep the hips nice and low as you transition. Breathe out as you step forward and also as you step back. Relax into the stretch. Coming up next is the T-dog stretch, which stands for thoracic spine stretch. You will find this is great for opening up the chest and then get another good stretch for the spine as the word indicates. Breathing out as you lift. Just do a few per side. And always remember to breathe out as you stretch up. Breathing with this stretch is really key in helping the muscle relax. Alright, so coming up we have the inchworm to a push-up to activate the core and warm the chest as well. You can choose here to walk out with straight legs or bent legs, they're both good. Of course, if your legs are straight, you'll feel a better stretch in your hips. A lot of us tend to be tight in the hamstring. And for the push-up, your head is straight. Your spine is straight as well, keeping the belly sucked in. Breathe out as you push up from the push-up, and breathe out as you stand all the way up. Coming up is the glute activator that I call the banded lateral walks. You'll find that the lower you place the band, the harder it's going to be. Wherever you place it, the key is to keep the hips level and to let the knee lead the motion, not the ankle. Keep constant tension on the band and never let it come too close, otherwise the band might slide off. We're going to move on to the banded squats. Another good glute activator, and also it helps to further warm up the quads. We're going to go a bit more dynamic now and do some single leg forward and backward hops. Try your best to not let the heels touch the floor. Core is very tight, nice and smooth, back and forth. Let's go ahead and do the final exercise for the warm-up. Lateral lunges, keeping your body upright as much as you can. Get as low as you comfortably can, but do be careful here, as you're going to have a good stretch on the groin muscle, which if you heard it, it takes a long time to heal. So breathe out as you come up, nice and smooth for the landing. We're gonna begin the workout in about 60 seconds. You wanna grab yourself a kettlebell, and if you don't have that, a dumbbell works just the same. And also you wanna have a cable system, and if you don't have that, you can use a long band, hook it on the top of the door frame. Bands are a great substitute for cable systems. First superset will have 6 push-ups side to side arm plank balance, and then 12 per side of half kneel single arm cable row, and 12 per side of dumbbell overhead reverse lunges. Get ready, you guys. We'll start in about 15 seconds. The first move is going to be the push-up to sidearm balance. Have a nice smooth rhythm as you do these push-ups. Try and go down all the way. As you shift to side plank, your feet can be staggered like what Taylor's doing, and you can also stack them on top of each other, which makes it more challenging. And if you want it even more challenging than that, you can keep the top leg off the bottom leg in the side plank. Breathing out as you lift up, core is nice and tight. Well done. Get yourself ready for the single arm horizontal row. And again, if you don't have a cable system, hook on the band to a door. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing together. Pull the band or the cable all the way to the ribs. Shoulders stay down and back, breathing out with the effort. The speed should be about 2 seconds out, 2 seconds in. I recommend here, if you didn't already do it, to always start with the weak arm. We want the weak arm to try and catch up to the strength of the strong arm to avoid any imbalances. We're going to move on to the single arm overhead reverse lunges. You can grab a kettlebell or dumbbell. Your goal is to try and keep the arm nice and tall, shoulder down away from the ear. Same leg goes back. The knee doesn't have to touch the floor, but it should come pretty close. Keeping your hips tucked in, ribs inside the body, breathing out as you come back up. Finish one side completely before moving on to the other side. Perfect, you guys. Let's get set up to do 12 on the other side. Nice and smooth. Back knee almost touches the floor, but not quite. Staying tall, arms straight, core tight. Breathing out as you come up. That's fantastic, you guys. You completed round 1. We're going to have 2 more rounds of it all, except for the push-ups. We'll do 3 more rounds of that. Take a quick sip of water if you need it. Then we're going to go back to 6 push-up to sidearm balance per side. If you're finding that the push-up part is a bit too hard, you can go ahead and do it on your knees to come up. Then when you're up, the knees come off the floor, and then you do your side plank. As you transition from push-up to side plank, do your best to keep your body in one solid piece. We're going to wrap up the push-up and get set up for the half kneel single arm row. The knee you want to put down is the same knee as the arm that is pulling. So if you're pulling with the right arm, put the right knee down. Stay straight. Don't allow the shoulders to move at all. Pinch your shoulder blades together and breathe out with the effort. Time to get set up for the single arm overhead reverse lunges, 12 per side. It's good to remember here to keep the ribs in, core tight, and avoid arching the back as you step back. Pushing the dumbbell high while keeping the shoulder down and the arm away from the ear. Alright, round 2 is over. Get ready for round 3. Have a sip of water if you like. Let's go for round 3 of 6 alternating push-up to sidearm balance. You might be getting pretty tired here, so keep pushing through it, keeping your form strict, core nice and tight. As you do your push-up, keep your shoulders away from the ear, long neck. Breathing out as you come up, stay in one solid piece. Stack your feet for harder, stagger them in front of the other for easier as you're doing the side plank. Time to do the final half kneel single arm row. Nice and smooth. About 2 seconds in, 2 seconds out. Breathing out with the pull, keeping the shoulders down and back. Kneel nice and tall. Glute squeezed. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Time to move on for the last time to the single arm overhead reverse lunges, 12 per side. Keep pushing, you guys. You're doing fantastic. Stay strong. Alright, done with that side. Let's wrap it up. It's time to wrap up the first superset with 6% of push-up to set arm balance. Keep the rhythm smooth, and if you have to, go to the knees and keep on going. You guys are working hard. You're about to get the minute and a half rest. Keep going, staying strong. And you are done. Alright guys, catch your breath, grab a drink of water, towel off. You're getting about a minute and a half of rest before we begin superset number 2. Superset 2 includes 2 to 1 lat pull down, 8 per side, and 12 banded overhead tricep press, and 10 1.5 goblet squat. If you don't have a cable system, just hook up your band to the top of the door and do single arm pull downs instead. We're gonna start in about 30 seconds. Get yourself set up. We're about to start round 1 of second superset. We're doing a double arm pull down. Release one hand and then slowly raise it back to the top. Try not to start the raise until you fully release the other hand. And again, if you only have a band, you hook it up to the top of the door. You do 8 per side of single arm pull downs. To really focus here on keeping the shoulder down, as most people let the arm lift, it is easy to let the shoulder blade come with it. But keeping down as you do the raise, focusing on the lower muscles just below the shoulder blade. Keep a long neck, slow release, about 2-second pull as you release. Keep the elbows always pointed at the ceiling, and as you extend the arms and also bend them, you want to make sure the elbows stay fixed. It's very easy here to let the elbows wander away from the head or to come down as you pull up. Keep them in the same position, nice and tight. Also ribs in, core strong. That was very good. Go ahead and get set up now for the 10 1.5 goblet squat. You'll notice Taylor here is keeping the dumbbell or kettlebell very close to her so as to not feel the weight in her arms or her low back. You want to go all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way up, fully. Breathing out as you come up. Excellent. You're wrapping up round 1. Grab a quick sip of water. We're going to begin round 2 with 8 per side of double down, 1 up, cable row. And again, use one arm only if you have a band. Stay focused on keeping the shoulders down and back. Never let them raise. When you release one hand, control the weight before it comes up. Extend fully. Moving on to 15 French press. Making sure the elbows don't move as you extend the band. Keep the ribs in. You can lunge in a position like she's showing you as it provides more stability. Alright, let's move on to doing 10 1.5 goblet squats. Remember again to keep the dumbbell or kettlebell close to the sternum so that you don't feel the weight in your back or your arms. As you go down, try and bring the hips behind the knees to get full range. Grab a quick sip of water and then set up for the final round of pull downs. Eight pull downs alternating, or 8 one side single arm pull down with a band. Shoulders are tight, staying in the same position. Release the arm to full extension slowly. It's okay here to have a bit of an arch in your back, as many will feel the back engage more if you do so. Fantastic, everyone. Get yourself set up for the final set of 15 French press. And now it's time for the final 10 1.5 goblet squats. You got this. Keep the pace steady, nice range of motion, keep the weight on heels, back straight, kettlebell close to body, breathe out on the way up. This is it, folks. We got a final move coming up for this part of the workout. Again, the shoulders stay down. You control the return to full extension. And you are done. Great job. Let's take a short break, grab some water, towel off. We're about to do core in about 1 minute. You got about 30 seconds left in the break. The way the core is going to work is each move is going to be 40 seconds long, and you're going to get 20-second rest in between each exercises. Alright, we're going to begin in about 10 seconds. We're going to start off with the reverse crunch. Ready, set, go. You can push off your hands as much as you want, and if that makes it too easy, then push less or not at all. Minimize how much you swing, and if you have to swing up, try and control the return. We're trying to target the lower abs, and as the hips come down, make sure the lower back stays contact on the floor. Three, two, one, rest. Coming up next is the bicycle. Ready, set, go. The goal here is to keep the elbows as spread out as possible to force a greater rotation. That's how we help engage the obliques even further. You gotta watch to not have the elbows come close to each other, because if you do that, you'll do minimal twisting and won't get the same benefits from this exercise. Try and make contact, elbow knee each time, full leg extension. Have a nice slow pace to really feel the abs contracting. Three, two, one, rest. The low plank hip raise is next. Ready, set, go. Your goal here is to arch down towards the floor, then curve your body up higher than you normally would for a plank. And as you raise your hips up, keep your back nice and curved, minimize bending at the hips, and really contract your core. Shoulders stay away from the head. As you raise the hips and lower them, ensure to keep the chest nice and far away from the mat. Three, two, one, rest. The next move is the star snap. Ready, set, go. You'll find that this move is not just about strength, it's also about timing. If you raise the leg too soon, you'll find it hard to lift the upper body. You almost want to think of lifting the shoulders first and have the legs follow. At the top, try and have your shoulders the same height as your knee. Do a nice twist, again to further engage the obliques. Three, two, one, rest. Scissor kicks are next. Ready, set, go. As you keep the lower back pressed to the floor, keep your belly sucked in and shoulders and head off the floor. A good tip here is to have the hands sit lower than your sit bones, which helps keep the hip in the proper position. If it's too hard on the neck, You can lower your head back down to the floor, take a short break, then lift it back up again. Three, two, one, rest. Coming up next are good old-fashioned crunches. Ready, set, go. What I often see here is as people come down, they allow the ribs to flare out. Try and keep those engaged as much as possible. Belly button and the waist sucked in. If your neck is getting too tight here, feel free to hold your head, provided that you don't pull in your neck. Three, two, one, rest. You're really doing fantastic. You have only 4 moves left. Coming up are alternating side plank with a reach. Ready, set, go. First you reach under as you do a 90-degree turn, then you come up to regular side plank, then rotate over to the other arm. And as you support yourself, keep your elbow pushing away from the head. Your body tries to turn in one piece. You can stack your feet or put them one in front of the other, whatever is best for you. If you're finding this move a bit too intense right now, just go ahead and be on your knees. But if you do so, make sure you keep the hips nice and straight. Three, two, one, rest. Coming up next are the in and outs. Ready, set, go. This move can be made harder by sliding the hands towards the hips and also off the floor completely. And if you need to make it a bit easier, you go ahead and slide the hands back. And to help not engage the hip flexors too much here, you want to try and keep the knees apart. And also, this is a good time to have a nice rounded back. Keep the shoulders far from the head. You want to aim to extend the legs fully. Three, two, one, rest. You're doing fantastic. We only have 2 moves left. The next one is the Russian twist. Ready, set, go. Keep the back nice and rounded and have full twisting by touching the floor on each side. To make it harder, the legs can come off. If you want to make it even harder, the legs can be straight and lift them really, really high. The higher they are, the harder it's going to be. Keep it going. You're almost done. Just a few more seconds. Three, two, one, rest. The final move for the core and also of the whole workout is the tall plank shoulder taps. One final push and you are done. Ready, set, go. Keep the feet apart a little bit, and as you lift the hand up to gently touch the shoulders with control, you try and pretend that you have a cup of water in your back and not spill it. Have enough control that the hand comes down because you choose to, not because it's falling down. Try and avoid any angle in the hip. Contract the core as much as you can. Ribs stay in. Belly button sucked in. You're almost done. 3, 2, 1. You made it. Awesome job.